Alright, boys and girls, and welcome to Gordon Guitar. We have Prince Royce featuring Jaza. This song is called Sufro. Alright, so we're gonna look at this song together. It's a 6-chord song, and we're gonna use a strumming pattern that works for this through entire song. And this kind of music is not just a guitar and voices. We have this on a band who's making up for all the sound and music, so we're gonna try to come as close as possible with a strumming pattern that works and also works with the timing here, of chord switches and all that. So have that in mind when we take a look at this song together with the strumming especially. So let's start. No need for any capo. All right, so we're gonna look at the chords. We're gonna start with D. So that is open D, second G, third B, and second E. We have now the next chord. That is pretty much an A, but with a C sharp in the bass. So A C chord, that's the name of it, what we will call it. And what you do here is to play a bar on the second fret here, 4 strings from bottom up like this. So you have the D, G, B, and E barred on the second fret, and then you need to add 4th on A, which is the C sharp note. That's the A C chord. Next is another bar chord, B minor. So you play bar now, still on the second fret, but you need to incorporate 5 strings from bottom and up like this. And then you need to add 4th on D, 4th on G, and 3rd on B. We have G coming up here, and that will be 3rd on E, 2nd on A, open D, open G, 3rd B, 3rd E. We have E minor, that is open E, second A, second D, open G, open B, and open E. And the final chord is A. And A goes open A, second D, second G, second B, and open E. All right. Now let's take a look at the strumming. And I think the best way to go with the guitar is, and also to have in mind it should be as easy as possible as well, is to go with down, up, okay? So if you grab the E minor, for instance, we have that, so it covers all strings. It goes like this. Okay, so down, up, down, up. And I like to emphasize the second and last down, and the way that I'm playing higher notes down here, okay, the high strings, and then all the other downs and ups I play on the bass. So right, like that. So bass, bass, top, bass. Right, that is how the strumming can go. If you want to have more of a beat emphasized strumming, then you can replace that down that we try to highlight with a clap instead, so it goes. Could work as well. All right, anyway, let's go into the actual song. We have a verse that goes with 2 rows, so to speak. So the first half will be D, 3 string rounds, A, C, 1, then B minor 4, then G2, E minor 2, and A4. That's the first row or stage in this verse. So D3, A, C, B minor 4, G2, E minor 2, and A4. That's the first stage or half of this verse. The second one goes almost in the same way. It goes D3, AC1, B minor 4. So far, no changes. But then you switch between the next 2 chords. In the first, you had G2, E minor 2, A4. And this one, you have E minor 2, G2. So just switch place between G and E minor. And then A4 in the end in the same way as the first one. So D3, AC1, B minor 4. E minor 2, G2, and A4. Okay, so that is one round of the verse. You're gonna play that in the same way both times. But anyway, we'll come to the second time here, second round of everything. Before that, we will handle the first chorus. All right, so you continue with the same strumming, no changes there. And now you have D1, AC1, B minor 2, E minor 1, D1, and A2. Okay, so D, AC, B minor 2, E minor, D, and A2. I played 2 rounds for you. You're gonna play 4 rounds, and that is the first chorus. After each chorus now, we have also an instrumental part. Okay, so this instrumental part number 1 now is much longer than the second one will be. But it goes B minor 4, G2, A2. You play that for 2 rounds. So again, B minor 4, G2, A2. Then you continue with G1, A1, and B minor 2. You play that for 3 rounds in total. So G1, A1, B minor 2, 3 rounds, and the final thing is to play G1 and A3 for just that 1 round. So that will be the instrumental part. I don't think there's a need for me to play through all this. I think you understand what we're talking about and how it sounds. So we'll only listen to it. So that's just to mention the instrumental parts. After this comes verse number 2, and this is just half as long as the first one. Remember, we had 2 rows out of this verse here. We had the first part of it, then we had the second part. In this second verse now, you're gonna play the second part, which is D3, AC1, B minor 4, then E2, that means E minor 2, G2, and A4, and that's it for the second verse. Second chorus then is played in the exact same way as the first one, and this one ends with the instrumental part, and it's very much shorter than the first one was. It is B minor 4, G2, and A2. Play that times 2, and you have finished Prince Royce and Jaza's Sufro. Okay, so that is how you play it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if it was helpful, please give me a like on this tutorial, and I'm happy. Play tuned.